Hi friends, it's Kelly at Kelly Bell Plans. I've been organizing this room. We've gone through planners, we've gone through planner stickers. I've been working on other things, purging out some books, some organizational wall units. But the big thing that is left, the yarn closet. Ooh! Okay, so I have already started emptying out the yarn closet. There are projects that haven't been started. There are projects in progress. Things for projects. This is yarn that we had spun that hasn't been washed and it's just in a big bag, and that's not counting any of this. This is going to be a big job, guys, but I know it's going to be worth it. So let's go. Okay, so there's not a ton of magic to this. It's really just get the things out of the closet, sort so I can organize it, get it back in, hopefully a little bit more efficiently than it was in there and more organized. So I started emptying things. I did go grab some dryer sheets. The reason being I have some alpaca here in this kind of blanket storage bag. You can see it's still wrapped in plastic. So this was alpaca fiber that I got from a family member's farm. We were able to find someone local who could spin it into yarn for us. And so we had that done. Now, the gentleman that spun it advised us it does need to be washed because they do use a lubricant in the machine to help prevent static and keep the fiber kind of gliding through the machine as it's being spun. He advised us if we're going to store it long term, it is better stored with that lubricant on it, kind of protecting the fiber, and then to wash it before use. So this is in plastic bags because it has not been washed yet. It has been in this storage thing, which is not super airtight, but I unzipped this and let's just say it smells a little earthy, smells like the farm. So dryer sheets to the rescue. I'm going to pop a few of these in the bag. And I think what I'm going to do is for the washed fiber, I have used some of this yarn. So some of it is washed and used. I do have some of it in this storage bin and I want to recapture that space. So for what is washed and used, I'm going to put on top of here. And that way it can all be stored together and I know exactly how much I have. So tool of the trade. Okay, here goes nothing, friends. So I basically put my phone down on the floor. So you do have a little bit of an upward angle here, but just point it at my closet so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm putting all that alpaca in here and there's several different colors, but everything fit into that bag, which was great. That is like a blanket storage bag I had gotten on Amazon as part of a set. Those are really nice if you have like a comforter or blankets to store. So that's all organized. Now I'm taking more out of these cubbies. Now my cubby, when I set it up, I don't know, a year ago, it did start out quite organized, but I didn't have all of my yarn together. So as I started migrating more and more over to the craft room from its old location, which was my master bedroom closet, things got a little less organized along the way until it was all kind of mixed up. So strategy I went with was to try to group together similar fibers. So I have a ton of acrylic craft yarn. So I'm talking Red Heart Super Saver, Karen acrylic, just lots of acrylics. I do really like acrylic yarn. Some people find it scratchy. I think it depends on the quality of the brand or the style that you get. But acrylic is great because it's machine washable, and that is just huge for me in our busy life. So I'm kind of putting all of my acrylics together because those are my go-tos, and they're the ones that I have the most colors and variety of. So to see them all together is great because I have gone out and purchased, for instance, red yarn. When I had red yarn, I just couldn't find it, or I didn't remember how much was left over. So I would go purchase more for a project. So now everything will be together. I can see what I have, what matches, and know what I need to get. If I truly need to get a color, honestly, I've kind of got a rainbow. So I think we're good for at least a little while here. So you can see, in addition to my cubby unit that's inside the closet, I have grabbed several plastic bins. So plastic bins are such a great tool for organizing. I did add some of these just somewhat recently in the last few months. To really utilize that top shelf storage, I needed my storage to go up. So I've been using plastic bins up there. I do prefer to get the clear plastic, like Sterilite style bins that have a lid. Lid is important to me for yarn because I don't want things to get dusty. And sometimes yarn will sit for a year, 2 years, several years maybe. So having that lid to keep it clean and dust free is really important to me. Even though it's just in the closet, things will eventually get dusty. So I like having that. So clear so I can see what's in it, and then having a lid to keep it clean and fresh. If I ever open a bin that I feel like is not so fresh, that's when I'll pop one of those fabric softener sheets right into the bin. It really doesn't harm the fiber at all. In fact, for my knitting machine, sometimes you need a dryer sheet to help with some static. So it's kind of nice to have those in the craft room. So you can see I just put a bin up top. I'll explain the organization toward the end, but basically what I'm doing is grouping by type of fiber. So I did the acrylics already. Or if I can't match the fibers, I'm matching the style. So if it is variegated yarns versus chunky weight versus lace weight versus baby specific yarns, that's kind of the strategy, is things that I would gravitate toward as a group is how I'm organizing. So having those categories really helps, just so that I know where to look for things when it's time. Okay, friends, we have made progress. It has been an hour and a half maybe. I have a lot of yarn. There was no doubt about that. But I found yarn I had been looking for that had been stashed away somewhere that I couldn't find. And then I found yarn I forgot about. So let's go on a yarn diet for a little while, maybe a little yarn no spend. I did not touch this shelf here. So I still have this to clean, and I still have this door caddy to clean out. So I am not finished, but I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you what I did. Okay, so the yarn bins at the top of the closet have been reorganized. The method of organization that I went with is this is all baby yarns. I am not in a season of life right now where I am making a lot of baby gifts. For a while, it was the baby boom. But these I haven't touched in a while, so I put them in one bin. If I don't use these up soon, I may donate these. So those are kind of on the cusp. These are my bulky weight yarns. So one bin of those. And then I've got two smaller bins up there. Those are kind of various weights, but they're like variegated shawl in a ball, mandala cakes, things like that. So those are yarns that kind of stand alone as their own projects in those bins. These are my Woolies Thick and Quick. I've been making some hats and fingerless mitts with those. There's a couple remnants also in this bin. And then this has a lot of wool and brown. It's an interesting combination, but I left those together because they kind of are all in the same texture family, color family. So that's what those are. That's just a big thing of polyfill. Okay, have not touched this, so we're not going to talk about that. Going down here, what I did was I grouped all of my acrylics, and there is another row down here. So these are all acrylic. These are all acrylic. I kind of put solids together. I put multis together. This is like multis that go with a solid. Like this purple can match this or these two. This blue matches this colorway. So these are things that I purchased together intentionally, so I left them grouped there. These are my sparkly yarns. Yes, I have a whole section for sparkle and shimmer yarns. That's fun. Going down here, this is kind of a mixture. This is a lot of tiny little balls of acrylic yarn. These are actually mostly, it's that Premier brand, let's see, Just Yarn. These I've been picking up at the Dollar Tree for $1. So I've got a collection of those. A little bit of Red Heart and Soul sock weight yarn. Dude, I have had this forever. I really need to make some socks. Isn't this beautiful? Not sure what I'm gonna make with this. We had a yarn store when I first moved here, where I live in Georgia, that closed up. So I was super sad when that yarn store closed, but I was able to get a lot of fiber on clearance for their closing sale. And so I took advantage of that. And so that's been around for a while. These are like soft acrylics. So this is like the Red Heart Sport Soft, or like the Karen kind of shine, what do they call it, Karen, Simply Soft type of, so those are also acrylic, but they're like the shiny type of acrylic. This is mostly craft yarns. What I mean by that is like handcrafted, but these are things that are in hanks. So rather than balls, hanks. So I have a lot of hanks around the bottom. I do have a couple balls in here. This is again from that yarn store that closed. I got so much yarn on clearance. Going down, so this is the yarn I forgot about, so I'm putting it front and center in this bin. I thought this was a project. It's not. So the project I was thinking was in here. Yeah, that's somewhere. I'm betting it's in my master bedroom closet, but we'll find it. This was yarn though, so I'm really excited about those. But then also I have a ton of cotton. So this is cotton for making like dishcloths and things. And then I have scrubby yarn. I made for our camper like cotton towels, washcloths, and some scrubbies with the scrubby yarn. It is my favorite thing ever. So I already had some of this. Others I kind of bought with the intention to make gifts, like sets, so I can do washcloths and matching scrubbies. So excited about that. So I need to get into that. And then this is a lot of kind of leftovers. You know, when you do a project and you overbuy and then you have leftovers. So this is actually for a project, but everything else down here is leftovers. These are just like buttons, a lot of my little knitting, like my stitch markers and things like that. And then this final little bin, these are remnants. And what I was doing for a while is I would go through and make little crochet squares with remnants, and one day I plan to kind of almost like a crumb quilt but with crochet, like put these together into something. So that's what those are. And then stacked alongside my organizing container is like some bins. There's all that alpaca. This is a project in a bag. That's a project in a bag. That is some excess yarn. Projects in a bag. So lots of projects, lots of yarn, but suffice it to say, for just like an hour and a half of dedicated time, this is a vast improvement in organization and storage and being able to see what I have and remembering that I really do not need to buy any more yarn, you guys. Even if it's on sale, even if it's on clearance, we got enough. Yarn diet, it's on. So thanks for joining me again this week to see part 3 of the craft office reorganization. Like I said, totally not perfect, not completed. I'm still working on this. I did start on these, but it's not completed yet. But what I'm hoping is most of the spaces I have touched at least once during this time this month, even though I haven't shown videos of every single thing. So I'm really hoping that next week I can do more of a walkthrough of the finished space, because I've just got a few things to finish up. And like I said, it won't be perfect, but it's going to be so much better and more functional than it was, and a great starting point to start off 2022, right? I want to create all the things this year. I love crafting and making things. So thanks for joining. Hope you're having a great day. Hope your year's off to a great start. And I'd love to hear how you're doing on your January projects. And are you crafting? Are you making things? Are you creating? Let me know. Thanks.